What's going on? This is HBY, Michael to those that know me better. And here's my review of a documentary that's been at the center of a little bit of controversy as of late, Bully. To give you a little background, the MPAA slapped Bully with an R rating for using the word fuck more than once, even though the word was being used in a non-sexual manner a la the King's Speech. So the distributors of the film, the Weinstein Company, decided to release this movie to theaters unrated. That said, Bully is a 94-minute long documentary directed by Lee Hirsch about the story of 3 kids and 2 groups of parents who have been affected by bullying. The first thing that comes to mind when watching this movie is how heartbreaking all the stories are. You have Alex, a quiet 12-year-old middle school student from Iowa who gets stabbed with pencils and strangled and verbally abused so much on a daily basis that he just gets used to it. Kelby, a former all-star athlete in a small town in Oklahoma who gets bullied by students and teachers alike after having come out as a lesbian. Keep in mind, her teachers would make her feel guilty for being a lesbian and a group of students ran her down with a minivan. Jemiah, a 14-year-old girl from Mississippi who, after enduring a year of tormenting from her bullies on her school bus, brings a loaded handgun onto her bus intending to intimidate her tormentors and ends up facing enough felony counts that could have put her in jail for life. You also have David and Tina Long, whose 17-year-old son Tyler ends up killing himself after years of abuse from other students and indifference from school officials. And Kirk and Laura Smalley, whose 11-year-old son Ty ended up killing himself after 2 years of abuse from classmates. Over the course of the movie, it becomes pretty appalling of how cruel the bullies can be to the students and how the school administrators take little to no action to intervene. I don't know how things were for you when you were a kid in school, but I don't think any of us could have predicted just how out of control bullying would have gotten in schools across the country. Getting back to the film, I only had 2 minor gripes with Bully. 1, the film never really touches on the various forms of bullying that occur on such websites as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And 2, there's not really an epilogue to see how everyone's been doing since Bully stopped filming in 2010. However, those are all minor in comparison to how powerful this film actually is. In the end, I recommend kids and adults alike see Bully. It's in select theaters in New York and Los Angeles as of this recording, but by next week, it should be in theaters all across the country. I'm HBY, see you next week.